Greetings, Nick Bocott with Sweetwater here, and today we're going to look at 6 of Motley Crue's slickest and sickest riffs. Now, as you know, Motley Crue called it a day on December 31st, 2015. They formed in 1981, and between 81 and 2015, at the end of, they sold over 100 million records. Now, they're allegedly in retirement, but Netflix just released a biopic movie of their best-selling book, The Dirt, and despite a brutal barrage of critical, complete and utter devastation, the public love it, and as a result, Motley Crue's sales and streams of their back catalogue have gone up a massive 2,000%. And, not surprisingly, the Dirt soundtrack album has hit the very top of the charts, and deservedly so in my humble opinion. Not surprisingly, on the back of the huge success of The Dirt, it looks like everyone and their mother is doing a video on Motley Crue riffs, and this is our take, but with a slight Sweetwater twist. 5 of the 6 riffs I've chosen have a common element, and that is chromaticism. Yes, they've got a chromatic ascent or descent within them, and it's key to the catchiness of the riff. And also, one of the 6 is not one of the usual best of Motley Crue suspects. So without further ado, let's get going. But first, I should discuss tuning. If you're a guitarist and also a Motley Crue fan, you probably already know this, but just in case, Motley Crue always tune down a whole step. So instead of being E, A, D, G, B, and E, they go D, G, C, F, A, D. And that's a key element to their sound. To avoid confusion though, even though the guitar is tuned down, when I refer to a note name or a chord name, I'm going to use the usual nomenclature. So even though this is really G because the guitar is tuned down, I'm going to call it A. Make sense? And therefore this would be G. Got it? Good. Let's get to it. Right. To look at this chromatically infused quintet, I'm going to go through them chronologically. So we're going to start with the very first album, 1981's Too Fast for Love, and this is the title track, and this is the intro riff. As you could see and hopefully hear, this riff starts with a chromatic ascent of the G string, with the open G string note used as a pedal point. Here is the pattern played once, very slowly. And then it repeats, so it does it twice on the G string. This is what that sounds like. Then, in brilliantly simple but catchy fashion, the same pattern is repeated, but this time using the open D string. And it's repeated there twice as well. So we go twice on the G, then twice on the D. Then guess what? Yep, it moves again. This time to the open A string is played twice there. Then it moves, wait for it, to the open low E string. The same pattern is played there twice, then it goes back to the A string twice, and then the verse starts. So let's listen to that all together, played somewhat slower than before. How much more chromatic could that be? And the answer is none. None more chromatic. Next up is the chorus to Looks That Kill, one of the many hits from the band's hugely successful second album, 1983's Shout at the Devil. Here's how this chorus riff rolls. going on to help make this riff so infectious is this. We're doing a chromatic ascent of the D string from the 2nd fret up to the 5th fret, 1 fret at a time. That's chromatic. And while that's going on, we're using the open A string note as a pedal, and we're also playing the C note at the 5th fret on the G as a drone. That's always there, which gives it an A minor vibe. When you combine those 3 elements, you get this really moody yet melodic groove. Here it is slowly. And what adds to the vibe too is if you notice the 1st, 3rd, and 6th times I play the open A string note, I'm just letting it ring, and then the other times I'm palm muting it to give it a percussive vibe. So that combined is why this kicks. Next up is the last riff's cousin, but this time it's in E minor, it's descending. And remember, we're tuned to D, so really E minor in literal terms is D minor, which is the saddest of all keys. Spinal Tap references aside, this is from the opening track from 1985's huge selling Theatre of Pain. It's called City Boy Blues, and it's rarely touched on, which is a shame because it's a great riff as you're about to hear. This is what it sounds like. The reason I referred to this as the descending cousin of the Looks That Kill chorus riff is this. This time we've got a low open E as a pedal point, and we're droning the G note at the 12th fret on the G string while descending on the D string from the 12th to the 11th to the 10th fret. So we get that same sort of vibe, but this time E minor because G is the minor 3rd of E minor. So once again, we get that moody but musical movement. Right, that's 3 of the chromatic quintet gone, another 2 to go. Well, actually 3, because I'm going to give you 2 for the price of 1 for the next song. What we're going to do is this. We're going to jump over 1987's hugely successful and also very decadent Girls, Girls, Girls album and go straight to 1989's Dr. Feelgood, which was another massive Crue success. And we're going to start off with Kickstart My Heart. Then right after that comes this beauty, and it not only houses 1 chromatic climb, it houses 2. Here we go. Like a lot of Motley Crue's riffs, the subtle nuances and accents of this are deceptively difficult to catch but essential to playing the riff right. Let's first look at the 2 chromatic descents. This is the first one. That was the ascent there, from B to C to C sharp to D. Here it is one more time. The second one goes F sharp, G, G sharp, A, and it happens like this. As I just mentioned, there's some subtle timing nuances that are essential to this riff, so I'm going to play it at half speed with a click track on 8th notes so you can hear each and every one. And to close our chromatic chronicles, here's a riff from Dr. Feelgood that has a journey from F sharp through A. It also features an E7/sharp 9 chord, ooh, better known simply as the Hendrix chord, and that's what this one sounds like. Thank you, Mr. Hendrix. That said, let's listen to the riff. This is another Motley Crue riff that sounds simple, but is deceptively difficult to play right. In fact, I've seen it transcribed wrongly a bunch of occasions. The biggest trick is this. Not only does it have a swing feel, so it's dump, ba-dump, ba-dump, not dunk, 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 but it doesn't start on the downbeat. The first E string note does not start on the down, it starts just before it's anticipated, and that makes all the difference. To illustrate this, I'm going to go back to the click track using this fine chord KDM metronome and play it at half speed so you can hear how the notes fall relative to eighth notes clicks. See how the open E didn't hit on that annoying ting? That's the secret, my friends. To close our quick look at Sixx, Sick, and Slick Motley Crue riffs, we're going to go to a usual suspect that is not chromatic. This is the opening riff to Too Young to Fall in Love, and it's one of my favorites. Here's what the riff sounds like slowly. Notice on the E's, it's all downstrokes. That's something Mick Mars does a lot. Livewire is all downstrokes. That's Hetfield speed, my friends. So he's a great guitar player, very underestimated, but brilliant. As you can hopefully hear from the riff, it kind of goes A to G to F to E. So it's this A to G to F and the last one that I hit already, E. And that's the exact sequence Nikki Sixx follows when he starts pounding the bass when he enters at the start of the song. 1 bar of A, followed by 1 bar of G, followed by 1 bar of F, followed by 1 bar of E. But at the very end of the song, the guitar goes back to that same riff and Nicky changes it up. Instead of going A, G, F, E, he goes A, B, C, E. So instead of descending from A to G to F, he ascends from A to B to C. And it sounds amazing. Now, how does that work? I don't know if Nicky was thinking in terms of musical theory, but this is how it works in terms of musical theory. The other more simple answer is this: it sounds freaking great. That said, if you'd like to hear the musical theory explanation, here goes. Like I said, the regular bass line is A to G to F to E. But at the end, while the guitar plays the same, implying G and F and E, just like we've done at the start there, the bass goes A, B, and C. The question is, how does a B work when a G is implied? And the answer is simple. B is the major third of G, so you're kind of playing a major chord there by implication. And then the C is the fifth of F, which makes it a power chord. So you're implying a major G and an F power chord. So we're going to go A, then G and B together, then F and C together before ending on a C. So this is what it sounds like. A, G with B, which is G major, F with C, which is an F power chord, and then an E to end. None more simple, but the real best reason to use this is it sounds really good. So I'm going to play out by doing 2 rounds using the A to G to F to E sequence, followed by a fade out going A, B, C, E. Before I play it though, I sincerely hope you've enjoyed our quick dissection of these 6 Motley Crue riffs, and love them or hate them, those guys have a penchant for penning really great riffs and catchy hook-filled songs. That's why they've sold 100 million records and counting. I personally love them, so to Messrs. Mars, Sixx, Neil, and Lee, gentlemen, thank you. I'm out. See ya!